Good afternoon. Time to get today's auction underway. How many of you are brand new, never been to one of these sales before? Most of the room. Like taking candy from a baby. But if you've ever tried that, it's not that simple. We're going to go through the rules and regulations of the sale before we conduct it so that everybody's on the same page about what's happening here today. In order to bid, you have to have a valid photo ID. You have to be able to prove who you are, or in some cases are not. You have to be registered prior to placing a bid. When you're bidding today, you're accepting the rules of the sale. They're printed in the book. We've hidden them on the page that says rules and regulations. Take a look at those before you bid. You're bound by what's in that section of the book when you place your bid today. These properties have been through a judicial foreclosure process. There is an order on file with the Circuit Court for Ottawa or Allegan County that essentially has foreclosed on the title right of anybody that held a title right prior to April the 1st of 2019. Numerous notices have been mailed to all addresses of record for these properties. Properties have been visited at least once. Publication was done in the local newspaper. Certified mail has been sent. There have been hearings at the Treasurer's office and in the Circuit Court. Anybody that had an interest in these properties held under deed, by land contract, mortgage interest, construction liens, IRS and tax liens, condo and property owner association fees, municipal water and sewer bills, and other charges, liens and judgments against the owners that affect title to the property, leases and rentals, recorded and unrecorded interests of all kinds have been essentially removed. They've been voided from title by an order of the court effective April the 1st, 2019. Some things are not affected by tax foreclosure, and here is that list. If you buy property today and there's an easement across the property or an easement across other property to get to what you're buying today, those are still in place. If the mineral rights have been severed, if they've been retained by a former owner, if they've been conveyed to a third party, they're still split. The rule on mineral rights is if the last owner of this property had the mineral rights, you get them today. If they didn't, you don't. If you're buying something today and it's in a condominium, a homeowners or property owners association, their fee structure, their restrictions, their rules all still apply. Anything sold today is subject to local zoning, building code, ordinances, and if the local health department has point of sale requirements, those apply as well. It is a condition of the sale today that if you buy any piece of property, we had one here in Ottawa County not long ago. We sold a great big piece of property that was covered in corn. Well, guess what? They ended up in court fighting over the corn. That specific piece of property is the impetus for this rule. It's a policy of this sale that if you buy something today and it's got a crop planted on it that was planted this year with the intention of harvesting it this year, if it's an annual crop, it belongs to the person that planted it. It's not your corn. We reserve the right for crops planted on anything we sell today to be harvested by the person that planted it in calendar year 2019. Everything sold today is being sold as is, where is, with all of its faults and defects at the time that the hammer comes down in this room. It's not always obvious what you're buying. Sometimes looks are deceiving. Here's a perfect example right here. We sold this piece of property in early August in a little itsy-bitsy town in the Upper Peninsula called Sagola. If you're familiar with Dickinson County or Iron Mountain, Michigan, it's about a half an hour north of there. I see all the property every year in about 30 counties in the state of Michigan. I take a lot of pictures. I walk through a lot of buildings. Usually they're pretty easy to get into because somebody's already opened the back door for me. This one was closed up tight. I couldn't get in. It took me about 20 minutes to finally get inside this one. I peeked inside those windows. It was like looking into a mirror. I finally got inside and it looked just like this. Just remember what we said about crops. Everything being sold today is being sold as is, where is, all of its faults and defects. You're getting a quitclaim deed today. There are no guarantees, no warranties, no representations made of any kind other than the legal description of property in your book. Right when you look at the parcel you're looking at, you're going to see the words legal description. What you're buying is the measured description of land, a subdivision name and lot number, a condominium unit, and similar descriptions. That's what you're buying. You're not buying addresses, you're not buying photographs, you're buying the legal description of land listed in that book. These properties can and do have an awful lot of problems. That's why some of them are here: lead-based paint, asbestos, cracked foundations, leaking roofs, frozen plumbing, property line disputes, lack of access, underground storage tanks, contamination, you name it, we got it. It's all included, no extra charge. Everything is being sold as is, whereas. Know what you're bidding on before you bid. No refunds. All sales are final today. When we bid, here's how it works. We're going to open up the bidding at a number that you see in the book that says minimum bid. That's what that piece of property owes the county. Our goal today in each county is to sell some of this property for enough money to pay the minimum bids on all the properties. That's the back taxes, the cost of maintenance. Sometimes there's been legal defense, other things, property maintenance, things of that nature. What we're trying to do today is recoup the county's money. Each property is going to open up at the minimum bid you see listed in the book. We cannot sell anything for less than that price today. If we already have online bids, I've got properties in today's book that have 10 or 20 bids already received online. If I've got a higher bid in advance of the sale, those properties are going to open up at that higher amount. There's no sense in covering the same ground twice. So the online bidding, if it's at a higher dollar, will open up at those numbers. Otherwise, it opens up at the minimum bid you see listed in the book. Then we go back to the beginning of the book and sell everything. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. The bid increments, the mechanics of this, here's how it works. The parcel is going to open up at either the minimum bid or a higher number if we have one online. The bidding then increases at a minimum by the numbers you see on the screen. We may go in higher amounts than what you see, but everything is going to go at a minimum in the increments on the screen. Until it gets to $1,000, it's going to go $50 at a time, round numbers, not dollar bids, not chopped in half, a minimum of $50 increase, $250, $300, $350, $400 at a minimum. Just the increments you see on the screen, no deviations from that at a minimum. Jumping the bid is something you can do. Let's say that we open a piece of property up out there in Lower Scott Lake. You want it really bad. Everybody else in the room's bidding $350, $400, $450. You want it really bad. You can stand up and shout out $50,000. That's called jumping the bid. It ends things really quick. Feel free to do that. We have several ways to bid today. We have you guys in the room with your yellow bid cards. If somebody's bidding later on with a blue one, it means they got here late. They might have missed this opening instruction. We may ask them to verify a couple things that we'll get to in a minute that are conditions of this sale. But we have 4 ways to bid. We have you guys here in the room. We have bids that have been placed in advance of the sale. I already have 70 bids in what we're selling today. They're right here on this piece of paper in front of me. I know which properties, how many bids, and how high they'll go. We also have a camera over there in the front of the room on a tripod, a little itsy-bitsy camera. They can see and hear this auction online, live. They can bid against you while it's happening as well. I'm going to remind the online bidders, most of them are regulars, but sometimes we get somebody new into that mix. If you're watching online, do not use the audio and video feed as your frame of reference. Today we do have super stupid fast internet connection here. It's just crazy how fast it is. It's probably going to be a fairly valid timestamp. Sometimes we get delays. You might be living somewhere where the internet connection on your end of things is very slow. So don't use the audio and video feed as your reference for what's happening in the room. Use the text on your screen. It's likely to be far more accurate. If you win today, you have to pay today in full. You can't, there's no closing date. There's no more time to pay. You have to pay today. You have to pay in full today. This is going to be a short sale. We're not going to be here past 2 o'clock. I'm guessing we're going to be wrapping up by 1:30 today. You have to be able to pay by the time that's done. It's Saturday. The banks aren't open. If you came with no money today, you shouldn't be bidding because your sale will be canceled at the close of today's business if you can't pay. If you're bidding online today, you'll receive an email about midnight tonight that'll give you instruction on how to pay for online purchases. The first $1,000 you give us today should be in the form of certified funds. It's a cashier's check drawn on a bank or a credit union. It's something that you can't cancel if you change your mind or get cold feet. The $1,000 certified funds is your non-refundable deposit. Anything over and above that first $1,000, we will take personal or business checks, credit cards being Visa, MasterCard, and Discover Card only, more cashier's checks, or money orders. That's the forms of payment we accept today. We don't take cash. We had somebody bring a great big bag of cash to us one time that they printed at home. I was kind of depressed that day. What are you going to pay if you win? Here's how the math works. We're going to arrive at a final price here in the room. Three things are added to that final bid price. There's a 10% buyer premium. That's the cost of today's sale. Add to that $30. That's the cost of recording a deed in the state of Michigan. Also, courtesy of the Michigan legislature, we're collecting the summer tax bill from you today. You can't get the deed to this property from us unless the summer taxes are paid. We could send you out scurrying around looking for all the villages and townships to pay it. We're just going to collect it from you today and pay it for you. Then we don't have to chase you down to make sure that you did it. So at the end of each description, it says summer tax due. We're going to collect that from you today in addition to the other things you see on your screen and make sure that that tax bill is paid. When it's time to check out, there's a form that you're going to be filling out. It's listed in your book under the section that says deed information. Some of you have already given us this info online, the names you want listed on the deed to the property that you buy today. If you haven't done it on the website, use this form. Couple of points to make on this piece of paper right here when you're filling it out. First of all, please try to write legibly. Some of you guys must be aspiring doctors from some of the handwriting we see. When you fill that out, use your full legal name. If everybody calls you Shorty or Bubba or Lefty, don't put it on that form. Use your legal name, the one that's on the legal documents you've already got, things like your driver's license. If you're going to put somebody's name on this form that isn't here, that you can't talk to, you might want to make sure you can contact them by phone before you fill that out, and we'll tell you why in a minute. Fill that out before you get in line. It keeps things moving a whole lot quicker if everything is filled out beforehand. If you're buying property today with somebody else, you're not married to them, you have to tell us the form of occupancy you're taking, the form of ownership. It's called tenancy, and that's legal parlance. On the second page, right behind that deed information form, are the options. If you're buying the property with somebody else, there's going to be a co-owner or co-owners, friends or relatives or business partners. We need to know what happens to each person's share of the property if one of them dies. We're all going to die. It's just a matter of when. You're going to have to pick out the option for what happens for that ownership upon the death of any of the co-owners. When you leave today, you're not going to be leaving with a copy of the deed. It hasn't been created yet. We don't even know what names to put on it yet. Before the deed gets to you, it's got to be all processed and recorded with the register of deeds. You're paying $30 for that. What you're leaving with today is a receipt. The receipt is our contract. It's our agreement of your purchase today. There are going to be several things in that we want you to look at before you sign it. When you sign it, you're bound by it. First of all, they're going to print out a copy of the receipt. They're going to give it to you to look at. Make sure that your name is spelled correctly. If it's wrong on that receipt, it's going to be wrong on the deed. Make sure that your address is correct, that the list of the properties you bought today, that 4-digit number that's in the left-hand column in the book, make sure that matches, that the math all looks right. Make sure everything on that receipt is correct before you sign it and give it back to them. When you sign it, you're agreeing to several things. First of all, the terms of sale, the rules and regulations printed in the book. You're agreeing that you're bound by those when you sign that today. You're acknowledging that you've had the opportunity to inspect the property before today's sale. Nobody forced you to buy anything today. You did it of your own free will. You're accepting the property in the condition that it's in at the time that it's sold to you, and that there are no refunds. Here's another one. We're going to be selling property today that is vacant land, and we're going to be selling buildings that are not occupied. We need to let you know that until you receive the deed, you are not the owner of the land. You're the buyer. This is just like being in the interim between the time that you make an offer to buy a piece of property and the time that you close. You're not closing today. You're buying today. It's you're waiting for your deed. State law is very clear, and we'll have one situation today where it's going to be even more clear. Until you have the deed in your hand, you are not the owner of the property. It takes about 6 weeks for the deed to be created. The checks have to clear. The deed has to be signed by the treasurer, taken to the Register of Deeds office. They make a copy for the permanent county record. They index it into their computer system. They put it in an envelope. They send it back to you, and you get it in the mail. When it shows up on your desk in your mailbox, that's when you are the owner, not until that time. The law is very clear that until the delivery of the deed, the treasurer has the right under state law, if necessary, to cancel your sale and refund what you paid today. Once in a great while, right after the sale, we discover a reason that we legally should not have sold the property. Some kind of a legal reason. Somebody may have been filed bankruptcy in Arizona and never told us. We can't sell property protected by bankruptcy. We cannot sell property in certain situations if we were not aware of it today, but become aware of it before the deed is issued to you. The treasurer does have the right under state law to cancel the sale and issue a refund of what you paid today only. So we're selling property today that's vacant land. We're selling property that is unoccupied buildings. Nobody's in them. The utilities are off. They're empty. If you buy a property like that, we should tell you that you do not have occupancy until you get the deed. We could tell you that 10 times. We could make you agree to it in writing. We could make you take a pinky promise and a blood oath, and guess what? You're going to be in there by 5 o'clock today anyway. I've been doing this 30 years, and I know exactly how everybody in this room thinks. You think you bought it today, and you're in charge. And if it's vacant, you're going to go in there anyway. So we're going to make an agreement with you that on vacant land, on unoccupied buildings, you get possession of those today, assuming that you've paid. This is not an active agreement here until your payment has been received in full. Once it has been, when you check out, if you paid, if it's unoccupied buildings and vacant land, you get possession today for 3 specific purposes: inspection, security, and maintenance. You are not authorized to begin any construction. You're not authorized to do any demolition. You're not authorized to move in. You are authorized to enter vacant properties, to change the locks, to take a look around, to secure your investment, to plan what you're going to do, and that's it. In exchange for that early possession prior to actual ownership, you're going to indemnify the county from any claims for injury, loss, or damage. You go in one of these beauties we're going to sell today and fall through the floor and break your leg, that's on you. You've assumed the liability. If you leave something there and somebody breaks in and takes it, that is your assumption of risk. You're indemnifying the county today for the early possession in these situations. I told you a minute ago that you should not list anybody's name on that deed document if you can't contact them by phone. This is why. It is against the law in this state to bid, to pay for, to be listed on the deed, to participate in this sale in any way if you have any other property in these 2 counties with delinquent taxes. If you have sold property to somebody else on a land contract and you hold the deed and their taxes aren't paid, I can't sell to you today. If you co-own property with siblings, with business partners under corporate names, if you have any fingerprints on any property in these 2 counties that has unpaid taxes from the winter of 2018 or before, I can't sell to you today. There's a provision in the law. It's a requirement that during your checkout process, you're going to be verifying for the clerks that you do not have any delinquent taxes. If you misrepresent yourself to them, you have committed a crime that's called perjury. Perjury in Michigan is a felony. If you tell the clerks you don't have delinquent taxes and we discover that you do, and yes, we're going to look, your sale will be canceled, your file gets sent to the prosecuting attorney's office. If you have any association with any property in these 2 counties with delinquent taxes, don't bid today. It's against the law. Your sale's going to be canceled. After the sale, this is homework. It's the last page in your book today. You have to fill one of these out for each piece of property that you buy and send it to the city, village, or township assessor's office. You're telling them, hey, this property's got a new owner. You should consider reassessing my taxes because here's how much I paid for it. I bought it from the Ottawa or Allegan County Treasurer on such and such a date. Here's how much I paid. You send that in, theoretically, they're going to reassess your taxes because it is not exempt. The bottom half of that form, a whole bunch of check boxes on there. Don't check any of them, they don't apply. Some of them might look like they do, but they don't. Fill out the top half, sign it at the bottom. You've got 45 days to send it to the city, village, or township assessor. If you don't send it in, number one, your taxes won't go down, and number two, they can assess you a fine of up to $200 for failure to file that form. Title insurance. Do you have to have title insurance to buy or sell property in the state of Michigan? The answer to that is no. If you're buying something today for your own personal use, if you're buying it for recreation, if you're buying a piece of property that sits next door to something you already own and you're paying a few $100s for it, you just want to park your boat there, you don't have to have title insurance. You need title insurance if you're going to be using property as collateral or if you're going to be selling it to somebody else that's going to be borrowing money to pay you off. If you have trouble getting title insurance for what you buy today from a local agency, there are some that are very familiar with the process. They have access online to the foreclosure database. They can look at all the notices that were sent and they'll be happy with what they see and they'll issue you a policy efficiently and inexpensively. If you can't get it from your local title insurance agency, if they want you to perform a quiet title action and haul a bunch of people to court or collect a bunch of deeds from former owners, you don't have to do those things. Here are shortcuts if your local agency requires you to do so. First American Title has an office in Detroit that specifically deals with tax foreclosed property. Their phone number is up there on the screen. At the bottom of that screen, not far from here at all, Sun Title in Grand Rapids insures tax foreclosed property. And at the top of that screen, the SNP Title Agency, they're in the middle of the mitten in Indian River. They write policies all over the state of Michigan on tax foreclosed land. They've been very active in the last year or two. If you are confronted after buying something today by somebody that claims that they have an interest in what you bought, the first thing you should ask them is when. If they claim they bought it in February, or that it was given to them by somebody last year, or that they have a construction lien against it, or anything of that nature. If you buy the condominium we're selling today and they come looking for their old fees, any of those sorts of things that existed before that date on the screen, they're gone, they're history. There's a circuit court order that extinguishes all title rights prior to April 2nd, except for some of those things that we showed you earlier on the screen, like easements. April the 2nd is also the effective date of your purchase today. April the 1st was the last day that anybody that had an interest in these parcels could pay, or they lost that interest, and the court says so. That argument is done. After that date, on the screen, you assume liability for anything that has accrued against that property. Everything that we are aware of is in today's minimum bid. The back taxes are included. Any municipal charges we've been made aware of for things like mowing the grass, picking up garbage, anything of that nature. Any legal fees that have accrued against the property defending the foreclosure title, they're already included in today's minimum bid. If they're out there mowing the grass today and that bill has not yet been presented, you assume it. Anything after April 2nd that's not in the minimum bid, you assume. The list of those things is fairly short. If you're buying something today and it's in a condominium, if it's in a homeowners or property owners association, you're going to be assuming liability for association fees after that date. Any prior fees have already been voided by that court order. If you're buying something today and it's got municipal utility service, city, water, and sewer, this is a scenario we see play out over and over. You call the water department, the last guy didn't pay his water bill, it's been turned off, they won't turn it back on unless you pay. I had a guy yesterday tell me that he got confronted with a $900 water bill, and he knew this information and didn't have to pay it. If somebody tries to get you to pay an old water bill, guess what? The Attorney General's office has a written opinion that's on file. It's number 7258. Write that number down if you're buying some with a water meter in it today. And it says two things. First of all, That city water and sewer bill, if it existed before that date on your screen right there, it's history, it's gone. The court judgment includes municipal utility service fees. It also says that they cannot require you to pay that bill. If they want their $900, they can chase down the last user or owner of that property and take them to small claims court. That bill does not attach to the property. You do not inherit that bill. They cannot refuse to turn your water service on. Michigan Attorney General Opinion 7258 says exactly those things. If you're buying something and it's got a water meter in it, write down 7258, Attorney General Opinion in Michigan. You can Google it at home, print it out, and take it in if they try to charge you somebody else's old water bill. Possession, we talked about it already. If you're buying something today and it's unoccupied, it's vacant land, you're given possession today for purposes of inspection, security, and maintenance only. Do not make improvements. Don't spend a bunch of money on it. Don't put a brand new roof on it until you have the deed. If your sale has to be canceled, what you get back is what you paid today and only what you paid today, not any money that you put into it prior to getting the deed. I'll throw a little story in here just to make it relevant and give you an idea on some of how this happens. We had two guys come to a sale in Grand Rapids. This is probably almost 20 years ago. I see a couple of the old timers, they've heard me tell this story before. We had two guys come to a sale and I told them exactly the same thing. Don't spend money on that property until you've got the deed. Your sale could be canceled. Well, they disregarded what I told them. They came to the sale. They had a house all picked out in Grand Rapids. They had already bought the materials. They had the windows, they had the siding, they had the roofing, they had everything in a pile. They've been watching those TV shows where people flip houses. They disregarded what I told them. They spent that, it was a Friday afternoon. They came in, they bought that house. By Monday, they had the whole thing almost done. I got a call from the treasurer's office, middle of the day on Monday. They had spent the entire weekend remodeling the wrong house. Oopsie. The guy that owned it really appreciated it. They wanted their money back. Sorry. What you get back is only what you paid today in the situation. But that, anyway, we're giving you that possession today. So keep that in mind. If you buy something, we do sell, we're going to be selling properties today that are occupied. I got people right here that want to talk to you about those. If you buy something today and it's occupied, you have two options. One of them is eviction through district court. The other one is negotiating with whoever's in a property, have the discussion with them about either continuing to stay there and rent from you, or if you want possession of the property, you can negotiate something. Those are really your two options. Do not approach an occupied property that you buy today and make demands. Don't go up there and bang on the door and start threatening people. It's not legal. Anybody occupying a property today in Michigan is considered an occupant, not a squatter. You have only two courses of action. One is negotiation. The other one is eviction through district court. Please be careful with occupied properties. What you're buying today is a piece of land. It's described in the book you've got in your hands, right where it says legal description. You're buying that piece of land and whatever is physically attached to it that was owned by the last owner. You are buying land, buildings, driveways, septic tanks, furnaces, water heaters. You are not buying the Allegan man's water softener. We don't own it. We can't sell it or give it to you. You're not buying anything you find on these properties in the form of personal property. If it is something that can be carried away, wheeled away, if it's ever had tires under it, if it's ever had a separate title, if it's portable, we don't own it. We can't give it to you. We can't sell it to you. We have no marketable title to anything on that property other than those things that are attached to it. We do not warrant the title to mobile, modular, or manufactured housing. If there's something on that property, even if it's attached, if it's owned by a third party that was never issued any notice, if there was a lien on it by a lender that had a lien on it as a fixture, as a piece of personal property, not as an attachment to the land, there's not a judge around that won't let them take it away. So we do not warrant title to anything like that. We're almost ready to begin selling. When we do, it's just like riding a teeter-totter. I'm going to open up the bidding at either the minimum bid listed in the book or a higher number if I have a higher bid online. Once we open the bidding, I'm going to come into the room. I'm going to find two people that want to bid on that property, just like riding that teeter-totter. We're going to go back and forth until I'm down to one person bidding in the room. I'll replace somebody riding that teeter-totter with somebody else when it slows down. Once we're down to one person in the room, I'm going to come over here to Carrie, who's bidding for people online, and see if we want to keep on going. Couple of tips if you're brand new at this, and most of you are. When you're done today, don't leave that card sitting on your chair. Somebody could pick it up and buy a whole bunch of swampland. If you've got a cell phone with you today, a baby, somebody that doesn't hear well, if you told your husband last night that he could spend $5,000 and he's just gone past 30, try to take it outside in the hallway. Take it out. Even better yet, take it out in the parking lot. The EMS is not far away. If you make a mistake, let us know immediately. If you bid on the wrong, we get people that bid on the wrong piece of property or misunderstand what the sale price is. If you make one of those mistakes, please let us know instantly. We can resell that property before the other bidder's out of the room. If you wait till the sale's over and then find that you made a mistake or something, it's too late. We're going to expect you to pay for what you bought. Please be considerate of us, and we will be considerate of you. We are not holding this sale because we want to be mean to anybody. We're not holding this sale randomly. These are properties that have been foreclosed. There's a court order on file. There's a state law that says these properties have to be sold in a certain time period. This is that time period. This sale is being conducted pursuant to a court order by state law. This is not optional for us. We're here. This is what we have to do to comply with the law. The taxes weren't paid. The sale has to be conducted. When we say a piece of property is sold, it is. Don't wait till the last second to bid for the first time. If you want to bid on something, get that yellow card up in the air. Don't wink at me unless you're asking me out. I'm open tomorrow, by the way. Any questions before we get going? Okay, we have got several pieces that are more popular than the rest of the book, and we're going to sell those first. It's going to be a very short sale. It's 12:30. If we're not done by 1:15, I'm going to be surprised. We've had sales go till 11:30 at night before. This isn't going to be one of them. So we've got a few, I think 3 in Ottawa County that are going to get moved to the front of the line just to make things efficient. They're 5909, which is on Berry Street. Vacant parcel, not far from Holland. 5910, 5911, 3 of them right in a row there in Ottawa County. Berry Street, the condominium in Jenison, and the house in Holland. The house in Holland, there is a current occupant, a representative of the former owner's family that's here to make a statement on that. We'll get to that when that piece of property is being sold. I've got 70 online bids on pieces of property already. Once we've sold those 3 pieces of property, we're going to go back to the beginning of the book. We're going to sell what's left. We do have stuff in here nobody wants. I'm not going to even bother those up. I'll ask before we skip them. We're going to skip the stuff nobody wants because we want this sale done so you can get all back home and mow your grass. Any other questions before we get going? Then let's go to Ottawa County, number 5909. I'm not an auctioneer. There are no cattle up here. I do not do the yabba dabba doo. I'm going to be pointing at the high bidder and repeating the price. If I'm not pointing you, you're not winning. Don't wait till the last second to bid for the first time. 5909 is on Berry Street. This is a vacant parcel of land in a quiet area outside of West Olive and Holland. There's a driveway cut into this parcel, and it looks like there may have been something here in the past that was removed. I've got 2 bids online already. The minimum bid in that book says $9,200. My bidders online have already gotten me to $10,250. They'll go higher. I know how high they'll go. I've got $10,250 online. I've got 7 people in this room that want to buy this piece of property. Here's how we do some of these. I've got $10,250 online already. If you'll give me $11,000 for that piece of property, put your card up in the air, leave it there till I say a number that you won't pay. Put it up in the air. I got 7, I see 4, 5. I know I got a couple more than that. If you'll give me $11,000, just keep your card in the air. 11,000, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, $20,000, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, $30,000, 31, 32. I'm going to start with you at 32,000. Aren't you glad we didn't do that $100 at a time? That's why we do that. I got 32,000 right here. Who wants to give me 32 and a quarter? Anybody in the room? I got $32,000. 32,000 going once. 32,000 going twice. You bought it. 32,000, number 273. My backup bidder. What was somebody else was right behind him. Number 234 is my backup bidder. Here's how the backup bidder works. If the winning bidder cannot or will not pay, we contact the backup bidder and they're given the option of buying the property for 1 bid increment below the final sale price. He won it for $32,000. If he can't or won't pay, we're going to call you and offer it to you for $31,750. It's not negotiable. We're not allowed to negotiate by law. It's yes or no. Number 5910 is next. This is a condo in Jenison. Remember what we told you about the condo fees. If they come knocking on your door after you've moved in and want you to pay 3 years worth of fees, what's your response? April the 2nd is your liability date. Any fees before that, whether they acknowledge it or not, any fees before that are not yours. They can collect them from the former owner, but not from you. 5910, I've got 19 bids online before the sale today. I have 13 bidders in this room. You're not buying that condo for $1,800. I'm sorry. I'm here to sell them to you, not give them to you. I'm at 35.5 already with online bids. I know how high those 19 bidders online will go. I don't know how high the people in the room will go. 35.5 is where we're starting. I have right in here how high the online bids in advance of the sale go. If you'll give me $36,000, show me your card and leave it up till I say a number that you won't pay. 36,000. Let's go to 40. 42.5. 45. 47.5. 50,000. 52.5. 55,000. 57.5. 60,000. 61. So I'm going to start with you at $61,000. That exceeds my high advance bid online. We may have live bidders on that camera. We may have somebody else in the room. I got 61,000 right here. I need 61,250. Anybody in the room at 61,250? Yep. I've got it there, but I'm going to take it over there. 61,250, 61 and a half. You want to give me 62 and a half, 63 and a half, 64 and a half, 65 and a half, 66, family conference, 65,750, 65,750, 66 and a quarter, 66 and a half, 66,750, 67,000. You want to give me 67.5, 67.5, 68 and a half, 69 and a half, 70,000, 70 and a half, 70 and a quarter. I got 70,000 here. Anybody in the room at 70,250? Yep. Online, 70 and a half, now 70,750. Yep. 71, are you all done? I got 70,750 online. Anybody in the room at 71,000? 70,750 online, going once, going twice. Sold that one online, 70,750. My backup bidder, what's her number? The back, you know, I'm good, but not that good. You're gonna have to turn that card around. 220. Number 5911 is one of those difficult situations that we just don't like to get into. This is an occupied house. It's been foreclosed. We've gone through the work. We've looked at the legal process, the notice work that was done. It complies with the law. It's the county's position that the foreclosure is proper. It went to court yesterday. The judge said sell it. Understand this, there is a period after today's sale that if you're the former owner's family, representatives, the occupants of the property are here, they're going to make a statement, they're going to make an effort to buy this house back. If they're successful, it's done. If you buy it, there is a period, this is still subject to litigation. There's a period after today's sale. We told you that the deed has not yet been issued. You're not the owner of this property. You don't have possession of it until you have the deed. The deed may not arrive. It may not be deeded at all. It may be canceled. You may get your money back. We are confident that the foreclosure was done properly and it will stand. But please bear in mind, if you buy this property and if they do not buy it back, you do not get possession today. So we're going to let them make their statement, but please keep those things. That's our position, is that this was done properly and that the sale will stand.
First off, I want to say thank you for giving me a chance to talk. My name is Jacqueline Navarrete, and I live in lot 5911. My family owns Mi Favorita Grocery, and we have a great reputation. I give it back to the community. Lot 5911 is part of my family's legacy. And because of the county's miscommunication on giving the proper notice to the person inside of the property, the county violated our due process by not doing this properly. Our lawyer, Matthew Stepp from Edward Allen in Grand Rapids, has pointed out that the county has violated my 5th and 8th Amendment, right? And the case is currently on file with the circuit court. Therefore, this suit and legal issues are likely to cloud the title of this home for a significant period of time. That would make it very difficult for the purchaser to get a clean title. Thank you guys for listening, and I really appreciate it. And you know, this is something that we have been working with ever since we've learned on April 10th that our house got foreclosed. This is something very big. This is me and my kids. This is who lives in the property. I'm just asking for a fighting chance to regain my home back. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So bid with your own conscience on this. We do have 10 bids online. We have 10 bidders in the room. And you're going to notice in your sale book an opening bid of $8,300. I'm already online at $67,250, and it'll go higher from there. I know how high the online bids go. The next bid I would need is $68,000. Do I have it from the former owner's family? $68,000 there. In the room, do I have a $70,000 bid? I've got more than that online. I've got $68,000 there. 68.5 online. You want to give me 70? 70 in the room. 70.25?
Yep.
You want to jump the bid to 75,000? 75.25?
Yep.
You want to give me 80,000? 80.25?
Yep.
This is online bids placed in advance of the sale. 85,000? 85.25?
Yep.
90,000? 95.25, excuse me, 85.25, I think is where I was at. Where was I at? 90,000, 90,000, 90.25.
Yep.
91,000, 91.25.
Yep.
91.5, 91,750.
Yep.
$92,000. I had bid from the former owner's family in the room. $92,000 in the room. Anybody here or online at 92,250.
Yep.
Online, bidding live on the camera. They heard her conversation. They heard my comments as well. 92.5 right there. 92,750. 92.5 in the room.
Yep.
92,750. You want to go to 95,000? 95,000. 95.25. 95,000 in the
Yep.
room, 95.25 online. You want to go to 100,000, $100,000. Now $100,025. 100,000 in the room, going once, going twice.
Yep.
125. 101. 101. I'm at 100,250 online. I do not know that bidder. I've got 100,250 online. Going once.
Yep.
Now I've got two bidders online. Oftentimes in these situations, this bidder will sell the property back. I can't swear that that's what the plan would be. It has happened many, many times in the past. We've got two bidders online. We're going to let it run here for just a minute and see where they end up. It's at $100,750. Going once.
Yep.
Twice. They're not done. Two online bidders. It's at $101,250. We'll give it just a minute here. Then we're going to go back to the beginning of the book and sell what's left, skipping the pieces nobody's here to buy today. I'm at $101,750 and I need 102. Going once. Going 102. They're back in. 102.25. I've got 102,000 in the room. Have to give them just a second to allow for a little lag.
Yep.
They're back. 102.5. 102,750. 102.5 in the room. Going once. Going twice. You got it back. 102.5. What was that? It was number 194, correct? 194. Okie dokie. Let's go back to the beginning of the book, which in my book says Allegan. Number 6800 has 3 bids online. I've got 3 bidders here in the room. We're on Wells Road, Allegan Way. $4,700 is where I'm starting with online bids already received. I've got 3 online bids. Anybody in the room want to give me $5,000 for that one? For number 6800. I've got 5,000 right there. Anybody in the room want to give me 5,500? 55. 6,000. You want to give me 7? How about $8,000? 9, 10,000, 11, 12,000, 13, 14, 13.25. I got 13,000 with you already. I've got 13.25 bid online.
Yep.
Anybody in the room want to give me 13.5 for that piece right there? I've got 13,250 bid online. Going once, going twice. Sold it for $13,250. My backup bidder was you. What's the number? The backup bidder is 406. Number 6801, 34th Street, Allegan. Minimum bid $900. It's about 1/5 of an acre. I've got a $1,300 bid online already. Who wants to give me 14? Anybody in the room want to give me 14 for that one? I should have asked. I don't think anybody here even wants it. I got 13 online, going once, twice. Sold that one online, $1,300. Do I have anybody here for 6802? If not, we're going to skip it. Do I have a buyer in the room for 6803? Then let's skip that one. I'm pretty sure that I've got buyers here for 6804 in Miami Park. Do I have people here for that one, 6804? I got a couple of you. Let's open that one up. 6804 Miami Park. This is a narrow piece of property. It's 15 feet wide, if my memory's correct. There it is. It's somebody's side yard. I bet they're both here. We had one like this yesterday over by Flint. We had a piece of property, probably should have sold for about $3,000 bucks. The neighbors both showed up, $30,000. They were going up 5,000 bucks at a crack. Yeah, it was a real show. They thought that's the best entertainment you can get there, other than the fight we had in Saginaw one time. 6804, $850. I've got bid right there. You want to give me 9? Now 950 and $1,000. 1100, 1200, 13, 1400. I've got 1300 right here. Anybody in the room want to give me 14? 13 going once, twice. 1300, 429. My backup bidder over there is 424. Number 6805 is anybody in the room interested in 6805? Got it right there. 6805, I got a couple of online bids. This is also in Miami Park. This is on the other side, the dry side of the Blue Star Highway. $2,100 I've already got bid online. You want to give me 22? I got 22 right there. Anybody in the room want to give me $2,300? It's a double lot at Miami Park. I got 22 there, 23 online.
Yep.
2,400, now 25.
Yep.
2,600, now 27.
Yep.
2,800, now 29.
Yep.
$3,000, now 3,100.
Yep.
32, now 33.
Yep.
34, now 35.
Yep.
3,600, 37.
Yep.
3,800, 39.
Yep.
$4,000 in the room, now 4,100.
Yep.
4,200, now 43.
Yep.
$4,400 in the room. My advance bid has been exceeded. I'm at 44 with you. Anybody in the room at $4,500? What about anybody live online? I've got you at 4,400, going once, going twice. $4,400, 424. My backup bidder is online. $6,806 is in South Haven at the Alpertel Beach. You have a bidder in the room for that one. I've got it sold online later on, but we're not going to waste your time if you don't want to buy it. On the next page, the first one I have circled by anybody in the room is 6810. We'll ask about the other ones before we skip them. Anybody here today for 6807? Is anybody here for 6808? 6809. Right there. I do have an online bid for this one, but we'll open it up and take your money too. We're not proud. 6809. This is in Miami Park as well. This is also a narrow strip of land. Itsy bitsy. This one's real close to the beach. Wait about 10 years, it'll be underwater. I've owned property out there. I know all about that. $1,800 is what I've already got bid online. Then you give me 19. 19 right there. I got 2,000 online.
Yep.
2,100, now 22.
Yep.
2,300, now 24.
Yep.
2,500, now 26.
Yep.
2,700, 28.
Yep.
2,900, $3,000.
Yep.
3,100 in the room. Anybody want to give me 32?
Yep.
32 with a live bidder watching that camera. 3,300, now 34. 33 in the room.
Yep.
Greg bid in advance and he's watching that camera because he knew you went above his bid. 34, 33 in the room, 34 online.
Yep.
35 in the room, now 3,600. $3,500 in the room.
Yep.
36 online, 3,700, now 38.
Yep.
3,900 and now $4,000.
Yep.
4,100, now 42.
Yep.
4,300, now 44.
Yep.
4,500, now 46.
Yep.
4,700, now 48.
Yep.
4,900, $5,000.
Yep.
5,100, now 52.
Yep.
5,300, now 54.
Yep.
5,500, now 56.
Yep.
57, 58.
Yep.
5,900, now $6,000.
Yep.
You want to jump the bid to 6,500? Move a little quicker. 6,500, now 66.
Yep.
You want to go to 7,000? 7,000, now 71.
Yep.
What about 75? 72. I got $7,100 bid online. Anybody in the room at 72?
Yep. 73.
Ooh, we got 2 bidders now over a piece that's about wide enough for lawn bowling. But it's near the water, and that makes people crazy. $7,700 is where it's at right now. 2 online bidders. We're gonna let them run with it here for a minute. We'll let you know where it ends up. We'll let you back in if you want back in. North of 8,000 now. This piece is 15 feet wide. Lawn bowling. We sold a piece here in Ottawa County a few years ago. It was at where 4 yards intersect, and I think it was 3 by 5 foot. Hardly big enough to stand on. $9,500, and they're not done. Hard to say. That's probably the 2 neighbors. I'm at $12,500, and they're not done. If there wasn't a fence there, this would be a good place to sell one. 14,500, 15,000. $17,000. $19,000. They may have stopped. I'm at $19,000 with Greg. Bob said that's enough. That's as far as I'm going. Greg said I'll go to 19.
Nope.
Oh, they're not done. If this hits 60 grand, I'm buying a pizza. One, because I'm cheap. $21.25. Well, gonna be one big fence there. I'm hearing that this should run all the way to the lake. Or as they would say in Indiana, they call it waterfront. A couple extra R's. 25,250 and still going. Bob stopped for a minute, but then he got going again. I bet he had to check with his wife. No? I might be be shopping for a pizza here pretty quick. I don't know if there's anybody open this time of day. We are north of 30,000 now. 15-foot strip of land. We sold a piece of property up by Sault Ste. Marie a few years ago. 2 little islands out in the St. Mary's River covered in bird dung because the seagulls lived on it. We had 2 little islands. They're about an acre each out in the middle of the St. Mary's River. We figured, 4 or 5 grand. We had a doctor come that had promised his 2 children he would buy them each their own island and name it after them. And we had an artist show up. What did we get for that? $102,000, just like this. Those 2 islands are now underwater. But I bet all the bird dung is gone. 38,000 and they're still going. Well, I don't know. I got $20,000 till pizza. Good thing I limited it to 1. They are going up $250 at a time now. Oh, they're still going up $500 at a crack. One's at $250, one's at $5. $45.5. We had one like this in Houghton Lake last year. We sold an old Holiday Inn. One of those ones that's got the cheap $5 contractor white paint on it now, because it's kind of worn out. Started at like 40 grand in the room. Nobody in the room wanted to bid on it at all. 2 guys online went up $250 at a time from 40 grand to almost $500,000. It took like an hour. Everybody went outside to smoke, even the people who don't. We're at $49,250 on a 15-foot wide piece of land. They're not done. 50,000. Meat lovers? Well, Bob and Greg are paying for it, so. You know, I just kind of made up that $60,000 number thinking it'd be ridiculous if it got there. Here we are. You're going to have them fit 15 things on 1 pizza. And somebody will want it gluten-free too. We are now past $55,000.
Yeah.
Well, 57,250. Are they done? It looks like they're done. These guys saved me some money. They saved me $5. 57,250. Anybody in the room want to give me 57.5? You want back in at 57.5? No. She's not even talking to me anymore. Anybody at 57.5? 57,250 going once. Going twice. Come on, Bob, you're out. They want their pizza. Sold it. 57,250. Backup bidders also online. Looks like I've got bidders in the room for 6810. This is on Pershing Avenue in the North Shore Manor subdivision. There are some special assessments. Those don't go away. You're assuming the balance. They'll put it on your tax bill every year. This property still has some stuff in it, 6810, that belongs to the former owner. If you remember what we said about personal property, anything in that property that's not attached to it is not part of the deal. You might want to track down whoever was here last and give them an opportunity to come and get their stuff. Pershing Avenue, I got 5 bids online. I got 4 bidders here in the room for this one. I'm already at 15.5 with online bidding. If you'll give me $16,000 for that one, show me your card. How many do I have? Keep them up in the air till I say a number you don't like. 16,000, 17, 18, 19, 20,000, 21. I'm going to start with you at 21,000. I got more than that bid online. I got 21 with you. Anybody in the room want to give me 21 and a quarter? I got 21 there. 21 and a quarter?
Yep.
You want to give me 22? 22 and a quarter.
Yep.
What about 23,000? 23 and a quarter.
Yep.
24,000, 24 and a quarter.
Yep.
25,000, 25 and a quarter.
Yep.
26,000, 26 and a quarter.
Yep.
26.5, 26,750. I've got 26.5 in the room right there. Anybody at 26,750, 26.5, going once.
Yep. 27.
27,000 with a live bidder watching it is not Bob, is it? I got 27 and a quarter, 27 and a half.
Yep.
Gonna give you 28,000, 28 in the room, 28 and a quarter. 28,000.
Yep.
28 and a quarter. How about 29? 29 and a quarter. They can go up 250 online just by clicking. They don't have to type anything. 29 and a quarter.
Yep.
What about 30,000? 30 and a quarter. 30,000 in the room.
Yep.
30 and a quarter. How about 31? 31 and a quarter. 31,000.
Yep.
Going once.
31.5.
31.5, 32,000, 32 and a quarter. 32,000 going once.
Yep. 32.5.
32.5, 33,000, 33 and a quarter. 33,000 in the room.
Yep. 33.5.
33.5, 34,000, 34 and a quarter.
Yep. 34.5.
Now 35,000, 35 and a quarter. 35,000 in the room. Going once.
Yep. 35.5.
36,000, 36 and a quarter. 36,000 in the room. Going once. 36,000 going twice. You bought it, 36,399. My backup bidder is online. You have a bidder in the room for 6813. Anybody here for 6813? What about 6814 or 6816? Either one of those. We have some of those sold online. We'll come back to them in a bit. No sense in making you watch the screen flip like that. On the next page, it starts with 6817, goes down to 6823. I have none of those circled by anybody in the room. That page that begins with 6817. Anybody in the room interested in any of those parcels? If not, we're going to skip them. The next page begins 6824, goes down to 6830. I have none of those circled by anybody in the room. Anybody here for any of those? On the page that begins 6824. I have some of these sold online. We'll come back to them later. The next page begins 6831, goes down to 6837. I have none of those circled. Is anybody here for any of those parcels today? The next page begins 6838, runs to 6844. Is anybody in the room interested in any of those parcels? Many of these do not have roads to them. Many of them are wetlands. That's why they're here. The next page begins 6845. I do have people in the room interested in 6851. Is anybody interested in anything before 6851 on that page? Let's go down to 6851. We might make quarter after yet. 6851, 142nd Avenue doorway, old trailer, just shy of 2 acres of land. A little swampy on some spots on the parcel. I'm at $12,750 with an online bidder. I've got 4 online bidders and 4 people in the room that came here today to buy this one. If you'll give me $13,000 for that one, show me your card. How many people do I have here for that at 13? 14, 15,000, 16, 17, 18, 19, $20,000, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, $30,000, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I'm going to start with the lady right here at $35,000. Who wants to give me $35,250? Anybody else in the room at $35,250? 35,000 going once. 35,250, 35,500. How about 36? 36 and a half, 37, 36,750. I've got 36,500 with you. Anybody in the room at 36,750? 36,500 going once, twice. 36,500, 460. My backup bidder is number 231. On the next page, looks like we're going to sell most of what's here. 6852 on Taft Road, almost 4 acres with an abandoned trailer. Wouldn't that make a great place for your mother-in-law? Tell her that's her new crib. She'll never come back to visit ever again. Might be worth every penny. I have got a $6,700 bid online. I've got 3 online bidders and several in the room. If you'll give me $7,000 for that piece of property, show me your card. How many do I have at 7,000? 7, 7,500, 8,000, 8,500, 9,000, 95, now 10 and a half, 11 and a half, 12 and a half, 13 and a half, 13,750. I got 13,500 right there. Anybody in the room want to give me 13,750? 13,500 going once. 13,750, now 14, 14 and a half. Now 15,000, 15 and a half, 15,750, 16. I've got 15,750 with you. Anybody in the room at 16,000? 15,750 going once. Twice. 15,750, 464. My backup bidder over there, what's her number? Is 375. Anybody in the room want to bid on 6853? It's not circled. We'll skip it if you don't want it. 6854 has 3 bidders in the room and 1 bid already online. 6854, another abandoned old property. This is on 16th Street, about 1.5 acres. The block foundation is in rough shape. This one's going to need some work. It's a dangerous building. It's got a bad roof, a foundation problem, and mold. No extra charge. I got $5,800 bid online. Who wants to give me $6,000 for that one? I got 6,000 here. Anybody in the room want to give me 6,500? I got 65. 7,000, 75. 8,000, 8,500. 9,000, 9,500. 10,000, 10 and a half. 11, 11 and a half. 12,000, 12 and a half. 13 and a half. 14 and a half. 15 and a half. 15 and a quarter. I got 15,000 over here. 15,250, 15,5. 15,5, 15,750. She said she's done. 15,5 over here. Anybody in the room at 15,750? 15,5 going once, twice. 15,5, 439. My backup bidder, what's your number? 467. You don't have to leave. I got a lot of other beat up abandoned buildings you can pick. If you have trouble finding one, I'll even help you pick it up. Last one in Allegan County, 6855. This is on 10th Street out Bradley Way. It's got an indoor pool. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and I guess that doesn't, yeah, by golly, look at that. It's got that green tarp on the roof. You know, that's a good sign in new houses. I've got a $6,400 bid for this one already online. I got 2 bids online, 3 bidders in the room. If you'll give me $7,000 for that one, show me your card. How many do I have at 7,000? A couple, 3. Let's do that card thing again. 7,000, 8,000, 9, 10,000, 11, 12,000, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, $20,000, 21, 22, 23, 23. I'm going to start with you at 23,000. Anybody in the room want to give me 23 and a quarter? 23 and a quarter, 23 and a half. How about 24 and a half, 25 and a half, 26 and a half, 27 and a half, 28 and a half, 29 and a half, 30,000, 30 and a half, 31 and a half, 31,750. I got 31,500 with you. Anybody in the room at 31,750? 31,500 going once. 31,750, now 32 and a quarter. 32 and a quarter, 32 and a half, 32,750, now 33 and a quarter. You know you want it. 33 and a quarter, 33 and a half, 33,750. I got 33,500 with you. Anybody in the room at 33,750?
Yep.
33,750 online, now 34,000, 34. Are you all done? I got 33,750 online. Anybody in the room want to give me 34,000? 34. He's back. 34 and a quarter.
Yep.
34 and a half. 34 and a half. 34 and a half. 34,750.
Yep.
$35,000. You could have an indoor pool party tonight. I got 34,750 online. Anybody want to give me $35,000 for that one right there? Your kids know everything. Move them right in there and see if they can figure the rest out. I got 34,750 online. Anybody at 35,000? Going once. Going twice. Sold it online. 34,750. My backup bidder right here. What's his number? Backup bidder. The backup bidder is 410. Now let's go to Ottawa.
Thank you.
Do I have a bidder in the room for the first one in Ottawa, which is number 5,900? Anybody here for that one? Over there it is. Let's open it up. 5,900 is on Judson Road. There are 2 lots here that are adjacent. Up in the Upper Peninsula, they would call them side by each. We're going to sell them separately, though. They are probably usable individually. 5,900. I got a $1,500 bid for you. You want to give me 16? $1,600 in the room. Anybody want to give me 17? 17 over there. 18. 1,900 now. $2,000. 21. 22. 22. You know, what if they could strike oil out there? I got $2,100 over here. Anybody want to give me 22? 2,100 going once, twice. 2,100, 365. My backup bidder, what's your number? 140. Right next door is 5901. This one's got a culvert and a driveway into it, $1,700. You wanna give me 17, 18, 18, 1900, now 2000, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I got 2,600 here. Anybody in the room wanna give me 2,700? 26 going once, twice, 2,600, same bidders. 2,600, 365 wins it. 140 is the backup bidder. Number 5902 is on Taft Street. Do I have a bidder? Right there she is. She's been patiently waiting, letting everybody else leave. Half an acre piece here, 100 feet along the street, 200 feet deep. It's a little below road grade. I bet she lives right next door. She just added to the yard. I got a $2,500 bid right there. Anybody in the room want to give me 26? 25 going once, 26 over there, 27, now 28, now 2,900, $3,000, 3,100, now 32, 3,300, now 34, 3,500, now 36, 37, 38, 39, 4,000, 41, 42, 43, 44, 4,500, 46. I got 4,500 over here. 45 going once, twice. 4,500, 109. My backup bidder, what's your number over there? 385. Anybody in the room for the next two, 5903 or 5904? Anybody want either one of those? Don't buy them if you haven't seen them. It doesn't work out. What about 5906? Anybody in the room for that one? Right there, I do have a bidder. I've got 5 bids online for 5906. We'll see where we go. It's on Fitzgerald Street, 265 feet of frontage, 400 feet deep. This one's got a creek that goes right through the middle of it. I'm not sure if there's even buildable land on it. We're about to let somebody find out. I got a $2,600 bid online. You want to give me 27? 27 right there, 28 online.
Yep.
You want to give me 3,000 for that piece? I know how high the online bid goes. I got 3,000 in the room. What about 31?
Yep.
How about 3,500? 35 in the room, 36.
Yep.
You want to give me 4,000? 4,000 there, 41 online.
Yep.
4,500? 4,200. I've got $4,100 bid online. 4,100 online, 42, 43,
Yep.
44, 44 now, 45,
Yep.
46, 47,
Yep.
48, 49, 5,000, 51. I've got $5,000, 51,
Yep.
52. You know the cool thing about an auction, if you keep bidding, I guarantee you'll win. Every single time. I got $5,100 online. Mr. Green, you gonna give me 53? Anybody in the room at 53? 52 online going once.
Yep.
We got 2 bidders online now. Mr. Green and Mr. Battenberg. We're gonna let them go. I think 5,600 could be the end of the line. $5,600 online. Anybody in the room want to give me $5,700? 56, 57. He's back one more time. 57 in the room.
Yep.
58. We got somebody watching live online right there. You want to give me 59? $5,800 online. Another new bidder. 5,800 going once.
Yep.
They're not done just yet. We'll see if this one gets to 60,000. It's waterfront too. Kinda. We sold one here a few years ago that was underneath the water. It had slid off the cliff right into Lake Michigan. Still got 30 grand for it. 6,200 and still going. $6,700, and it's still ticking away. $100 out of crack. We'll be done pretty quickly after this. I might have been 15 minutes off. Everybody's in a hurry to go home and mow their lawn. $71, $72, $100. $7,500 and still going. $7,500. Anybody in the room want to give me 76? Looks like they're done. $7,500 going once, twice. Sold it online, $7,500. The backup bidder is also online. On the next page, do you have a bidder in the room for $59.07? Anybody here for that one today? I should have somebody here for $59.08. Not far from here. Right there they are. Let's open that one up. This is teeny tiny. It's in, there's two buildings right there, and it's a little strip of land right in between them. It's not even, it's 110 feet on the road. And I think if my memory's right, it goes just to a little point at the back end. $550 I got bid right there. I bet you're gonna buy it, because I don't think anybody else has use for it. $550. Anybody want to give me 600? 550 going once. Twice.
Yep.
There's always one. 600, now 650. There always is. 650, now 7. They're gonna try buying and selling it to you.
Yep.
750, now 8. Maybe it's the guy on the other side. 8, 750 in the room.
Yep.
8 online, 850, now $900. You want in? 950, 1,000, 1,100. What are you gonna do with it? 1,100, now 12. 1,300, now 14. Maybe he's just got money, he's trying to get rid of it. 1,500, now 16. This is the place to do that. 17, now 1,800. 1,900, $2,000. 2,100, now 22. 2,300, now 24. 2,500, 26, 27, 28, 29, $3,000. 3,100, now 32. 3,300, now 34. 3,500, 36, 37, 38, 39, $4,000. 4,100, now 42. 4,300, now 44. 4,500, now 46. 4,700, now 48. 4,900, $5,000. Now 5,100, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, $6,000. I got 5,900 over here. 5,900. Going once, going twice. 5,900, 385. It's been a day of surprises. What's the backup bidder number? Number 260. We already sold 5909, 5910, and 5911. That leaves one more piece of property, and I don't think anybody in the room wants to bid on it. Is anybody here for 5912? And we're done. We got a few pieces of property that we had online bids for that nobody in the room wanted to open up. So we're gonna let Carrie take those. We're gonna take like a 5-minute